As an animation channel, producing high-quality content is extremely tough. Patreon, while it is a great way to support our team, we understand that directly donating money is very hard. However, downloading the free Animation Rewind apps isn't hard at all. In fact, it's very easy and free. It's also a great way to ensure that Rewind Rumble, this channel, stays alive and in production. So make sure to download and play Space Memes, Walrus Jump, and MOAR Bounce. Links to these can be seen down below. Thanks and enjoy the video. A man who has nightmares every night of his life is in pain. This is an important quote from the 2013 Wolverine film, as Logan was a troubled man filled with many nightmares. Because of this, he makes the perfect target for a slasher like Freddy Krueger. These two entities have very similar attack styles but quite opposite goals. All dreams come to an end, but today we find out if this dream ends happily or miserably. Today, we rewind Rumble. The origins of both characters are embedded in tragedy. The major difference between Logan and Freddy was their response to tragedy. Logan coped with his emotions and decided to fight for good, while Freddy let his emotions loose and decided to commit heinous crimes. Wolverine spent his childhood in Canada during the late 1800s. Before he coined the nickname Logan, he was known as James Howlett. However, he wasn't James for long, as after the groundskeeper of his home killed his father, James went and got revenge for his dad and took out the groundskeeper. After that, he ran away and went under the identity of Logan. Frederick Charles Krueger was essentially born thanks to an insane asylum. His mother, Amanda, was a nun who worked at the asylum taking care of patients. Tragically, she was beaten, abused, and raped in the asylum. As a nun, abortion was not an option, but adoption was. So Freddy was adopted to Mr. Underwood. Unluckily, Mr. Underwood was an abusive and alcoholic father. These two scenarios set up Freddy for a terrible life filled with bullying and punishment. When Freddy got older, he got a chance to raise his own family, and he did raise a daughter with a loving wife, and at first everything seemed normal, but behind that peaceful facade was a horrific desire for vengeance from all the abuse and bullying that took place during Freddy's childhood. Switching back to Logan, it's crucial to know that Logan is a mutant, which means he was born with his powers. While his powers do have genetic mutated origins, that's only one part of his abilities, as the second half comes from intense lab experiments. The most iconic experiment was when Wolverine's bones were fused with adamantium. Adamantium is a virtually indestructible alloy. It can survive nuclear explosions, heavy impacts, extreme heat, and could easily slice through many forms of matter with little effort. Wolverine may have gained his powers via birth and lab experiments, but Freddy's have a much different source. After Freddy went on a massive killing spree taking the lives of his former bully's children, he gained the reputation as the Springwood Slasher. The people of Springwood took matters into their own hands and lit Freddy on fire. While Freddy was burning alive, he was approached by dream demons. The dream demons granted him the ability to enter and kill people in their dreams, with fear as his source of power. After this incident, Freddy has gained many abilities, but it's extremely important to understand that these powers are restricted in the dream world. In your dreams, he can create time loops as shown in the fourth Nightmare on Elm Street. He can turn invisible. He can manipulate your dreams to his will. He is an expert slasher and is intangible. However, his durability and immortality is solely dependent on how feared he is by his targets. If people fear him, he can thrive. If not, he will be weakened. Most normal nightmares end with you just waking up, but if Freddy manages to kill you in the dream world, you will die in real life. Freddy's favorite way to kill his victims are with his iconic nightmare claws. Speaking of claws, Wolverine's claws are adamantium infused, making them a very dangerous weapon in combat. On many occasions, Logan can stand toe-to-toe with the likes of Spider-Man, Hulk, and Thor. He's even fast enough to tag Speed Demon. Wolverine also has an impressive healing factor and an extremely slow aging rate, but he is not omnipotent by any stretch of the imagination. His so-called kryptonite is his brain, for that is the source of his healing factor. If someone manages to temporarily crack his skull and take out his brain, Wolverine can be put to rest. Though doing so is quite a challenge, it's not impossible, but it is hard. Wolverine has lost battles before, and with his short temper, he could make careless mistakes and bad decisions. Both of these men use the art of slashing in a similar combat style, but for very different purposes. Wolverine uses it for good, while Freddy does it for evil. Wolverine's greatest weakness is Freddy's greatest strength, the brain. The only question is left, who walks away victorious? And now it's time we set ourselves a circumstance. The location of this battle will take place in Wolverine's nightmares with one night of preparation. It is impossible for this battle to not have preparation, because Freddy would need to know who his target is to be a part of their dreams, regardless of how little he knows, and Wolverine would need to have at least some level of fear, regardless of how small that level is, to see Freddy in his dreams. So for that reason, this battle will include one night of preparation. And with that circumstance bar finally loaded, it's time to rewind rumble.
Bitch. Big mistake. Damn it.
I hope you enjoyed that animation, and if you did, special thanks to the newcomer on our team, John Powell 3D. He's got some pretty cool content on his channel as well. Also, don't forget to download the Animation Rewind apps. It's the best way besides Patreon to support this series. Thanks, and enjoy the post-analysis. Wolverine's biggest nightmare may not have been Freddy Krueger, but he is afraid of people who haven't played space memes yet. You must have no soul to both know the existence of this game and willfully reject trying it out. Seriously, you are one scary human if that describes you. But anyway, let's get back to seriousness. Statistically speaking, Wolverine creams Freddy, and before we go over why stats in this debate don't really matter as much as other debates, just know that Wolverine is far faster, as he was fast enough to tag Speed Demon, clocking him at massively hypersonic. He was strong enough to puncture the Hulk, which easily gives him City Plus striking strength, and with the adamantium skeleton of his, he's pretty much safe in the durability category. But again, stats aren't really important for this debate, solely on this episode's circumstance. The entirety of this battle took place in Wolverine's mind and dreams, so any realistic stats he's displayed in the real world may or may not have an effect on how strong he perceives himself in his dreams. Previous stats for Freddy really wouldn't matter either, because without the dream demons, Freddy's powers relies on the fear of others. Basically, this means Freddy's stats are also kinda useless. He's only as strong as Wolverine fears him to be. Which brings up the next two questions. How much would Wolverine actually fear Freddy, and would he be able to overcome his fear to the point of diminishing Freddy from his mind? Luckily for Wolverine, he shouldn't really fear Freddy to begin with. Logan has pretty much seen all of Freddy's bags of tricks before with his countless battles against other monsters and gods in the Marvel Universe. Plus, Wolverine has proven many times that he can resist mental assaults. To directly quote Wolverine from one of the comics, he has once stated, "I've got level 9 psi shields installed courtesy of Charles Xavier himself. A level 9 telepathic blocker is one of the highest Professor X has ever produced. It has protected Wolverine's mind against gods who struggle to read it. He even outlasted a group of Avengers, as Wolverine's mind was immune to reality warping. So if gods struggle to read Wolverine's mind, let alone manipulate it, what's going to make you think that Freddy would have any success trying to tamper with Logan's brain? Wolverine clearly doesn't fear death or pain, which will greatly limit Freddy's fear tactics. Freddy will be limited to trying to scare Wolverine via harming others. The suffering of people Wolverine cares about might prove effective at first, but it'll also speed up the triggering of Wolverine's Berserker mode. Basically, Freddy's tactics will anger Logan more so than scare him. And in Berserker mode, Wolverine's only emotion is rage, as shown during a mind lobotomy in the mode. In this mode, if all other emotions are depleted, especially the fear emotions, Freddy will most certainly lose his power and diminish. This leaves Freddy in a logical box. It's more so of when Wolverine is going to win, not if Wolverine is going to win. Making the winner of this Rumble, Wolverine. Now, if you want to see a slasher free-for-all with the likes of Jeff the Killer, Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason, and many others, all you have to do is like this video. If this video gets 10,000 likes, such a free-for-all will be put into production. Also, don't forget to comment down your own ideas for future episodes, don't forget to download the AnimationRewind apps, and stay tuned as the next fighters are going to be revealed. On the next episode of Rewind Rumble.
Help!
Mario's back in a new adventure. He has new friends with special abilities. Go!
You're too slow!